Hello guys and welcome back to Zola's F3. It is January 21st of 2024 and as you guys can see, the Winter Luau 2024 has officially arrived in Zola's F3 until Sunday, January 28th, 2024. With all that being said, let's jump right into it. Let's start off by reading the book, Winter Luau 24. This is a very special time for us at Zola's F3 as you're about to experience what was supposed to be seen in late February 2023. Because of this, the ice from December 2022 returned. It truly feels like we've gone back a year in time. How awesome is that? Upcoming events. January 28th, Winter Luau 2024 ends. February 1st, Zola's F3 7th Anniversary Construction. February 4th, Zola's F3 7th Anniversary Party. And on February 6th, Zola's F3 7th Anniversary Surprise. We're incredibly glad we can finally show this original 2023 event to you all. Note, despite the inside of the balcony not existing until July 2023, it's updated for this. And while the ice castle was there originally, it is not here sadly. It was hard to rebuild. As usual, that is already in the library, so we can get rid of it. By the way, I'm actually already wearing one of the items, being the icy grass skirt. And that's ironically because it is ironically the first item. The icy grass skirt that I just was wearing. Looks like that, and it looks very cool. That said, that is the first item. There are obviously 7 items available in this party. Like, literally 7 items total. And, yeah, apparently I forgot to put a, January 21st sign right here, so... Yeah, I mean, that might have been the only one I never did, so... That was my fault. There we go, now that is much more understandable. Now that we got that first item out of the way, and the book... Yeah! Look at this! Let's just be clear. This... Literally, that book is not lying at all. What you are about to see was exactly what was supposed to be here in February, after the events of the Valentine's Day party and Zola's Lab's 6th anniversary future event. Of course, since we lost that future party, neither of those 2 events occurred, which is why we're now using the exact elements that would have been used there this year to make up for it. That's actually not a joke. This is literally what we were going to be doing last year in February. Exactly everything you're about to see here, and what you're already seeing right now. So this was planned for at least a year. Of course, if we didn't lose the future party, that would have been done, and the event for January here probably would have been completely different. But nope, here we are now, almost a year later. A week after this party concludes is obviously the Zola's Lab 7th Anniversary Party, with the actual anniversary being on February 6th. That'll be fun to look forward to. And this time it won't be mission-based. Right, Cool Cat 33? Please, don't do that again! That's actually serious. Okay, enough talking about that. But you get the point though, it's back to a normal anniversary this year. Anyway, they should most likely all be back to regular anniversaries going forward. Regardless, though, the outside of the lab looks really cool, and it's really cool that we get to see this ice again after over a year, or at least almost a year, which is pretty cool, because I never got to test out how the luau would look with all this ice around, and hey, a year later we get to do exactly that. It looks great. And the plaque also looks amazing. With all that being said, there are soul lanterns everywhere, which are all very, very cool. And yes, this banner is an item, of course, but that's not available till a later day. Anyway, the outside does look awesome. And yes, the beacons are blue like this on purpose, which is really cool. Actually, they are very similar, if not almost exactly the same, as the ones from the Christmas party of 2022. Actually, we'll get back there in a minute, because I want to go for the inside of the lab first. Speaking of the inside, it's about time we head on in there, because, hey, look at this! So, as you guys can see, this is what the lab office looks like. It looks very, very cool and very well decorated for this party. There are no items in here, but there is one out in the yard and on the roof. But we'll get to those later, even though they won't be available. Anyway, the lab office looks very cool and very well decorated for this party. With all that being said, let's move on to the flower shop next. Alright, here is the flower shop. It looks like this, and it looks very, very cool. As you can see, the floor has been transformed back into its old ice form from the snowy tundra. Because honestly, I felt like it was necessary for an event like this, especially with the whole ice theme. So, with that all being said, this all looks very, very cool. And yes, there are, of course, the torches all around here, of course. Next up, the roof is next. And here is where the hat will be available, but it is available on January 22nd, so we cannot claim it yet. But, as for the room itself, this is how it looks. And, yeah, I was not expecting to put that many lanterns up there, if I'm being quite honest. So, yeah. I went a little nuts. Maybe a little too nuts. But, granted, it's a Winter Luau event, so, hey, why not? Anyway, that's mainly it for this room, outside of... the main idea is, of course, the soul lanterns on top. But there are still plenty of other decorations here. Let's move on to the backyard next. And this is how it looks. With the next item, the ice item specifically, being available on January 23rd. As for the room itself, this is how it looks. And you know what? Let's put an extra banner up there for the heck of it. There we go. Anyway, this is very cool, and the backyard looks really nice, especially with all the ice around. Oh yeah, and I still see the rails down there. I do apologize for not doing it in the Christmas party. That would be the first time ever that we would never do that, and I do apologize. I wasn't able to get them out in time, which is annoying, considering it was their 5-year anniversary at the time. Hopefully I'll bring that back this year as to make up for it, as an apology. I better hope I remember that in 11 months. Yeah. Sometimes I tend to forget that sometimes. But I am getting pretty well at remembering these things now, which is actually really good on my end. That's actually serious. Anyway, that's it for the backyard itself. We are going to move on to the downstairs of the lab now. Alright, we are now on the downstairs of the lab. Just to specifically clarify, Classic ZL3 is not updated, but it definitely will be during the anniversary party. Now, as for this room, as you can see, this is where the banner is available, but it's not available until January 24th, so like the 4th day of the party. Anyway, in regards to that, as you guys can see, this is how it looks. The hallway, to be specific, which is very cool. And I do hope you guys love it, because this took a while to make. Speaking of which, if you're curious how long the actual event itself took to make, I started working on this at around like 10:30 a.m. EST. But I did take a short break in between, just so I wasn't doing it the whole time. And I kind of finished around like the time I started recording this video, which was ironically probably around like 6:50 or something, according to when I started filming this. So, probably good like 8 hours. Yeah, just to specifically clarify. Yeah, so basically like 8 hours. Because I also have to create a ton of new items. The library, this was actually the last room I did before recording, and you can tell there's not much in here. The HQ is not updated, but I never updated the map down here, so let's actually go ahead and do that. And hi, HQ Secretary. You know, I'm still really enjoying the break from the mission-based events. We heavily needed a break. Seriously though, It honestly looks so freaking cool. Like, holy frick, this actually looks amazing. It really looks amazing. Wow. I was not expecting it to look that good. Anyway, let's get back to the tour, however. So our next room is going to be Rose Crystal's room. Let me just get all these maps out of here. I forgot to do that. Anyway, this is available on January 25th, with it being available until January 28th. We are not able to claim it, obviously. Actually, we should probably remove the button so it isn't, you know, obtainable. But, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, the button will reappear when it becomes obtainable. Anyway, that's just to make sure you don't get it like a few days early, because this actually unlocks on the day the Zola's App 2 version of this party comes out. But this is the Rose Crystal's room. It looks great. It really does look great. The clothes shop is not updated for this party. But I wasn't planning to anyway. Plus, that's also only decorated on certain events, as long as at the shape rooms. Like, this room is barely updated unless it's like a holiday event or something. And the underground party room, as you can see, is also updated for this party, which looks very, very cool. And yes, now you can see how I got the beacons to look like that, so you're welcome. Anyway, that is how this looks. It looks honestly so freaking cool, man. Like, holy frick! It looks so good! Now let's move on to Snowland, which, as you can clearly see, is updated for this party. So yeah. Anyway, it mainly has ice all over the place, with some snowy trees here with lanterns. And even the fort themselves also got updated here, as you can see. So, that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and go up here. There we go. See? That looks so cool, right? Oh, also, let's do ourselves a favor and get Sparkles out of here. Hopefully she will not go in there again. Okay, I'm probably gonna need one of these if I'm gonna get her out of there. Oh, come on! Right as I take it out, she just leaves the freaking floor. Thank you, Sparkles. Can you please not get stuck in there again? That actually would be really freaking nice. Anyway, back to the point, though. This is how it looks. It looks very well decorated for this party. Like, very well decorated. And with that said, let's move on. Just to clarify, the meeting room and TV and game room are not updated, but I wasn't planning to anyway. Here is the hallway, the second hallway, which looks very cool. And what do you guys think? There's not much in here, as you can probably see. It's just some torches, some flowering Osley bushes, and, of course, some lanterns. The final room of this party is the balcony, which has an item unlocking on January 26th. Well, this is technically actually not the last room. Remember what the book said about the inside of the balcony being updated? So technically, scratch that. This is the second to last room. But it's the last main lab room to be updated, as the inside of the balcony is technically considered hidden. With all that being said, this says Luau right here, which is pretty cool, made out of packed ice and snow, respectively, with a ton of torches around here as well, with more palm trees. And the item over here is packed ice, but it isn't available until January 26th. So, that is really cool, though. So what do you guys think of the balcony? Looks very cool. And, of course, let's head down to our final room, of course, obviously being the inside of the balcony. Of course, since this did not exist prior to July 2023, as the book stated, it is still updated here just to reflect on it, because why not? Our final item in this party, available on January 27th, aka the last day of the event, is blue ice. And there are lanterns all over the place with more trees. Now this says 2023, and as a, again, reminder, this is to obviously mark when this was originally supposed to take place. So that's why it's on the ground. It's kind of engraved into the ground just to remind us when this was originally supposed to take place. Because for all we know, if this did end up taking place when it would have, the January event could have been completely different. Just think about that. The January event could have been completely different if that event was held back when it was supposed to. That's actually serious. And the same could have been done for Zolzab too. But this is just to remind us when it was originally supposed to take place. That's why it says 2023 right here. Anyway, that is the last room in this party, and also the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Zolzab 3. What are your thoughts on the Winter Luau 2024? We still got the Zolzab 2 version to check out on Thursday, January 25th. That's not for another 4 days, so that's cool. This was very fun. And it was really cool that we could finally see our concept from last year finally become a reality after not being able to do it last year. It was so cool to finally show you this after a year.